are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Searching for old treasures, blowing off the dust. Timeless stories and legendary characters. This is Talking Movies. Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Talking Movies. So today we will be talking about Neil Israel, Pat Proft, Hugh Wilson written and Hugh Wilson directed, 1984 Police Academy, starring Steve Guttenberg as Carrie Mahoney, Kim Cattrall as Karen Thompson, G.W. Bailey as Lieutenant Harris, Bubba Smith as Moses Hightower, Donovan Scott as Leslie Barbara, George Gaines as Commandant Lassard, Andrew Rubin as George Martin, David Graff as Tackle Berry, Leslie Easterbrook, Sergeant Callahan, Michael Winslow as Larvell Jones, and a host of other accompanying actors. So, the year is 1984 and the Mayoress has removed set personal criteria from the requirements to join the police force. No longer is sex, weight, height, and orientation a factor. Well, good God. Tommy, this sounds like this movie is kind of diverse and a little bit woke. Trust me, it's not. Because, you know what? People that are part of that type of culture do not like this kind of comedy. Anyway, this now allows for an insurgence of people applying. The Police Academy series follows a select group of misfits in their quest to become policemen and women. The first film of the series follows these misfits in their time at the Police Academy. The main focus is on a petty criminal called Mahoney. Mahoney is busted for criminal damage and as punishment is forced to go to Police Academy. Mahoney initially feels that this isn't the right place for him and he makes it his mission to be thrown out as he is not allowed to quit. As the classes go by and the training exercises are played out, Mahoney soon realizes that he is actually enjoying the academy, does want to become a police officer. We are also introduced to the gun maniac Tackleberry, the very tall Hightower, the voluptuous Callahan, and Squeaky Hooks. This movie was absolutely hilarious and it had a little bit of that slapstick type comedy in it, and the standout performances from Bubba Smith as Hightower and Michael Winslow as Larvell Jones was absolutely astounding. Not to say that the rest of the cast weren't astounding. Steve Guttenberg was absolutely great, and everybody else that was in this movie did a spectacular job. They filled their roles perfectly. But these guys were very standout to me for this film. So, director Hugh Wilson stated that when it came time to film the driving scene with Hightower at 2:30 a.m., the actor originally cast as the angry driver was found passed out drunk in the trailer. So Hugh himself ended up playing the role of the angry driver who Hightower crashes into. In addition to playing Jones, Michael Winslow also supplied the voice for all public address announcements heard at the Academy. Producer Paul Melansky got the idea of this movie during the production of The Right Stuff in 1983. A group of police cadets arrived to help with crowd control for the filming of a street scene. When the cadets piled out of the buses to take their posts, they were diverse men, women, tall, short, black, Asian. However, the cadets proved fumblingly inept at their assigned task of keeping members of the public away from the set. Melansky witnessed an exasperated superior officer with a very red face chewing out two sputtering recruits busily trying to rationalize their incompetence. He found it humorous, asking the sergeant, "Are these all going to be future San Francisco's finest?" The sergeant told him they had an equal opportunity hiring policy. "We have to take anyone who applies into the academy for training, but we can flunk them out in 2 weeks." It started Melansky thinking, what if they don't want to be flunked out? What if some guy or girl wants to stay in? That night, he wrote a 2-page treatment and gave it to executive producer Alan Ladd Jr., who loved the idea and agreed to develop the movie. When attending his audition, Steve Guttenberg wore an old police shirt belonging to his father, Stanley Guttenberg, who was a New York City police officer. When Hooks says, "I'll bet there's a back door into this place," Marion Ramsey tries opening the door only to find it jammed. After several attempts, she finally succeeds in getting the door open. This was unplanned, but was kept in the film. Marion Ramsey says she came up with Hooks' voice by reading the description of her character in the script and recalling the time she met Michael Jackson. The voice is a parody of Jackson. She also recalls in the moment where Hooks exclaims, "Don't move, dirtbag." The sound techs were used to recording the meek voice and were surprised when she said the line so loud. And after early test audiences responded most positively to Hightower out of all the characters, Bubba Smith was moved to second billing just behind Steve Guttenberg. Pay close attention to the scene where Barber is floating downriver in the camera booth. Before he passes under the bridge, the booth almost flips over. This was not planned. It really did almost flip over. Billy Crystal, Tom Hanks, Michael Keaton, Bill Murray, Judge Reinhold, Jerry Seinfeld, Robin Williams, Bruce Willis, John Travolta, and Rick Moranis were all considered for Mahoney. Marion Ramsey was asked to wear a fat suit for her role as Hooks, with the idea that Hooks' boot camp training would have rendered her slim by the end of the film. Due to time constraints, the scene showing Hooks after her weight loss was removed from the final cut. By the time work on the sequel began, producers changed their minds, opting instead to have her remain in the fat suit in order to garner audience sympathy for her character. A brief shot of Slim Hooks remained in the film, however, as a close-up of her without the fat suit is seen during the graduates' march at the end of the film. There actually wasn't a whole ton of goofs in this one, but there were a few unsynchronized audio and visuals. So when Captain Reed and Mahoney are in the interrogation room at the police station, Captain Reed says he was a good friend, meaning Mahoney's father. When he says it, his lips don't match to the words he's saying. The original line spoken was, "He was a good cop." When Tackleberry is playing the saxophone at the beach party, his fingers do not move. It is obvious that the sax playing is recorded. However, during the shoot, David Graff was playing the saxophone as he was a skilled player. Likely the music simply wasn't synchronized correctly. And in the scene with the motorcycle riding on its rear tire, skid marks can be seen from previous takes. Anyway, guys, that's all I have on this one. Have you seen this movie? Do you remember this movie? Maybe you're planning on watching this movie now. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, as always, if you've enjoyed it, go ahead, destroy that like button for me. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. And if you have, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I will catch you all next time. Later, y'all.